Level 1. The Youth. You're 14 years old in San Luca, a village pressed into the Aspromonte Mountains in Calabria, the toe of Italy's boot, where the roads end and the old world begins. Population 2,000. Unemployment 60%. The government is a rumor. The Drungheta is not. You don't want to be rich. Not yet. You want to stop being the boy that nobody sees. At school, the teachers look through you. At home, your father works a field that will never be his. But across the square, the men from the family sale are looked at. That is what you want, to be looked at. A man named Old Nino notices you first. He is 45, quiet, and wears the same dark jacket every day. He doesn't recruit. He lets you come to him. He gives you a message to carry. A folded paper. No envelope, from one bar to another across town. You don't read it. He watches you not read it. You earn nothing. A coffee. Maybe 20 euros. What you have. A name they now know. Outside Bar Centrale, two older boys ask who you work for. You say nothing. They step aside. You don't talk about what you carry. You don't ask what it means. You keep your mouth shut. That is the first rule and the only one that matters today. The neighborhood watches a 14-year-old move through it like he belongs somewhere important. They're not wrong. You're waiting for Old Nino to call again. Level 2. The Initiated Soldier. You're 16 years old, and Old Nino pulls you aside one evening and says 3 words. Your time now. You are taken to a room above a private house in the Lacride Valley. Whitewashed walls, no windows, 6 men standing in a circle. The cell boss sits at the center. He holds a holy card. The Archangel Michael, sword raised, face like stone. He pricks your finger with a needle. 1 drop of blood falls onto the card. The card is set on fire. You hold it. You don't drop it. The flame eats toward your fingers, and you hold it until there is nothing left but ash and the smell of your own skin. Then each man embraces you, cheek to cheek, 6 times. You have recited an oath, until death. You will recite it until it replaces your name. You are full now. You are made. Blood calls blood. You earn 700 euros a month. Your father earns less than 2. What you have, a phone number that never calls you first. The morning after, a man you have never met steps out of the car and looks at you differently. Not fear, recognition. Like you've just become a color he can finally see. You are invisible to the law. You are not invisible to anyone who matters. Rats don't live long here. You're waiting for a weapon. Level 3, the armed one. You're 20 years old, and you are carrying a Beretta 9mm inside your waistband at all times. The armed one is the first rank with the right to carry a weapon, and the right is also an obligation. You run protection on the port at Gio Tauro, the largest container terminal in the Mediterranean, where the Ndrangheta controls freight, workers, cranes, and the inspectors who look the other way. Everything that enters Europe through this port pays something to someone above you. One night, a dock foreman refuses to sign off on a manifest. You don't argue. You stand outside his house at dawn. You don't knock. He sees you through the curtain. The following week, he calls the number you gave him. He never hesitates again. You earn 1,800 euros a month. You tell your mother you work in logistics. What you have, a black Alfa Romeo, nothing flashy, just better than anything your father ever drove. Old Nino tells you to stop eating at the same restaurant twice in a row. You don't ask why. The mountain remembers everything. Shop owners wave from windows when you pass. They're not greeting you. They're checking in. You sleep with the phone on. You start watching doorways before you walk through them. You are waiting for your first real order. Level 4, the Saint. You're 27 years old and you have just been invited into a room that most soldiers never see. The Saint rank belongs to the Major Society, a secret within the secret. The Drungheta has always told the world it is one thing, the Major Society is the other thing. Only senior members know it exists. Your elevation comes without ceremony. A conversation, a handshake, a new set of obligations no one writes down. You are a saint now. You manage 3 younger soldiers. Their mistakes are your mistakes. Their arrests are your problem. Blood calls blood. You earn 5,000 euros a month. What you have, a key to a private apartment in Reggio Calabria where meetings happen that your family does not know you attend. An investigator from Italy's financial police photographs you outside that apartment. You see the lens. You don't run. You walk to a different bar, order an espresso, wait 40 minutes, and leave through the kitchen. By the time they process the image, you are registered as an employee at a construction company that pays taxes and does not exist. Old Nino tells you something is wrong with a man 3 levels above you. He says it like a weather report. You file it away. You no longer answer questions about where you've been, not to your wife, not to anyone. You're waiting for your own territory. Level 5, the cell boss. You're 34 years old. You run a family cell now. Beneath you, soldiers, saints, ghosts. Above you, the regional structure. Between you and everything, your entire life is collateral. The Drangheta doesn't promote with paperwork. It promotes when the previous man is gone. You run the cocaine pipeline from Giugiaro into Northern Europe. Rotterdam, Antwerp, Milan, Toronto. 12 bundles wrapped in black electrical tape per shipment. Pressed into olive oil cans. Pallets of furniture. Frozen fish. You earn 30,000 euros a month. What you have, a legitimate restaurant in Reggio, a cousin on the city council, and a lawyer on permanent retainer who answers on the first ring. You launder the money through construction contracts. A municipal tender gets written by a man you own. The money goes in dirty. It comes out in cement. Nobody asked where the building came from. You wanted to belong. You wanted to be seen. Standing here, you wonder if they were ever different things. Golden cage. You have not left Calabria without a full security escort in 18 months. You don't know what it feels like to take a flight without knowing who was at the gate. You haven't been to your daughter's school recital. It was safer if you weren't there. Old Nina was dead. You hear this third hand from a man who says it while looking at the floor. You don't ask how. Decisions made in anger cost money. That is the only rule at this level. Other cell bosses stop making eye contact at group meetings. They're measuring you. You let them measure. You used to wait for the next thing. You stop waiting for anything. Level 6, the regional head. You're 43 years old. Your name moves without you. The regional head presides over multiple family cells operating under your authority. You don't move product anymore. You make decisions. A meeting in a farmhouse outside the town of Plati lasts 4 hours. 15 men sit around a table. Nobody takes notes. You speak once. That is enough. Governments know your name. Italy's dedicated anti-mafia directorate has a file 3 centimeters thick with your photograph on the cover. Canadian prosecutors have named you in proceedings they cannot finish. Europol flags every phone number within 2 degrees of your associates. You earn 8 figures annual. What you have, nothing in your own name. Property in your wife's maiden name, a nephew's passport registered at an address that doesn't exist. The mountain remembers. Golden cage. You cannot trust a meal that wasn't prepared by someone inside your circle. You eat the same food as your driver from the same pot. You haven't shaken a stranger's hand in 6 years without knowing their full family lineage first. A rival regional cell sends a message, not a threat, a question. You answer it by doing nothing for 3 weeks. Then you act. He does not respond after that. You have everything they said you would want. It sits on you like stone. You're waiting to feel something. You know you won't. Level 7, the crime boss. You're 51 years old. You are the mountain. The crime boss is elected at the Supreme Summit, convened in secret each year near the sanctuary of Madonna de Palzi, a pilgrimage site deep in the Aspromonte that doubles as the Narnheta's highest court. When Domenico Aptisano was arrested in 2010, the world learned this summit is real, this title is real, and the vote that chooses it is real. You didn't campaign. You were selected because everyone else was afraid of you, or owed you, or both. Your name is worth more as a myth than as a man. Operations continue without your instruction because you built the system. You are the signature that nobody signs. You have not slept in the same house 2 consecutive nights in 4 years. You communicate through intermediaries who communicate through intermediaries. Your actual voice is heard by fewer than 6 people alive. Golden cage. Your children have been moved abroad to a country they do not love because it is safer. You have never held your youngest grandchild. 2 governments want you. Your own organization would trade you for a single uninterrupted shipment at Jopa Chipman at Jojo. You know this. They know you know this. The men below you whisper your name before they make decisions. Not to reach you. As a prayer. Blood calls blood. Level 8. The fall. You're 54 years old when they come. The arrest happens at 5 a.m. outside a relative's house in Saderno. A military police helicopter overhead. 20 officers in tactical gear, a warrant listing 43 charges, criminal association, cocaine trafficking, money laundering, murder conspiracy. The charges span 20 years. They took that long to build. You are placed in a maximum isolation facility. Italy's harshest confinement regime, designed specifically for organized crime bosses. 1 hour of air per day in a concrete yard the size of a shipping container. No contact with other inmates. Letters are read by 3 sets of eyes before they reach you. Golden cage, the thing you spent your entire life protecting. The family name is now on the front page of every newspaper in Europe. Your daughter has changed her surname. The bottle, the family cell has a replacement inside a week. The machine does not stop.